All right, where do we start? I recently moved to Texas. Right, I'm in the Austin area, Round Rock, and it was a pretty big life move. Life decision, I should say. I moved out of Massachusetts, moved away from everything I know, moved in with one of my good friends that I just happened to know from playing video games with him for the past, shit, 14 years? Maybe 13 years? 13 or 14 years? Um, so, yeah, he knew I was wanting to move down there. I've been wanting to move to Texas. Um, Pretty much since 2008, I'd want to say, right when I graduated from, well, before I graduated from school, I went to a technical institute called Universal Technical Institute. I almost got a job in Texas working for Schlumberger, their oil field service company. So I was going to be working on oil rigs, um, but that didn't work out. Um, Driving record was what held me back on that, but that's another story. Today I went down to the Texas DPS, which is the Department of Public Safety, um, which is different from the DMV up in Massachusetts. Um, but it's like the same idea. It's where you do your licensing stuff. Um, the registration stuff you do at the tax office, which is, I don't know, that whole thing, I had to figure all that out. But yeah, so I had to go down there to get my license situation straightened out. Obviously, as you can see, wearing the MAGA hat. Um, this hat triggers people. I find it kind of hilarious that an inanimate object like a hat can make people so angry. So I'm wearing it, walking through the grocery store. I got black people shaking their head at me. They're just kind of confused, and I got white people kind of looking at me strange, and Hispanic people looking at me strange. And every once in a while, I'll find someone that's like, "Hey, nice, good stuff." I was in HEB, which is the main supermarket down here. It's a chain. As far as I'm concerned, they don't have any other supermarket down here. HEB is it, which is also something that's strange because I'm used to so many different choices in Massachusetts or Northeast in general, with Stop and Shop, Price Chopper, Shaw's, Whole Foods, all that stuff. But yeah, I had a black dude roll up on me, and he was like, "Oh, nice hat, I like it. Black people don't have to be Democrats." And da da. So we got into it. We got a little talking. He had just recently been red pilled by his friend, his roommate, who was a white guy, and I guess they spoke about the Republican Party and what it is or what it means to be a conservative, and his values aligned with it. And I think a lot more black people, if they really looked into it, um, what conservatives or Republicans, how they feel on different issues, they would agree with a lot of it. It's just the stigma of the media is what pushes people away from it, right? And it pushes people to not do their own research, which is what I find. People would rather watch CNN, MSNBC, CBS, whatever, and just straight up believe what they say rather than try to formulate their own opinion. Maybe take in what they saw on that news channel and, like I do, go to another news channel or an alternative media site and then form your own opinion from there. I question a lot, you know, um, a lot of things. I don't just believe what people tell me at all. I don't. But yeah, so anyway, back to the hat. I was, doing the licensing and all that. I was there for about an hour and a half. You can check in online, which is cool. You can't do that up north. And you can arrive 10 minutes before your appointment, and, you don't really wait very long at all. I was missing a few pieces of paperwork, so it took me a little bit longer. But ultimately, I was only there for about an hour and 15 minutes when people were walking in, and I was listening and hearing the employees saying that it was going to be about 4 hours until they got seen. And I was like, hell no. Thank God I checked in online. So I did that. And then on my way out, I was holding the door for a gentleman. His name is Aaron, and he's from Austin. And he's a black man. And he tapped me on the shoulder and said, all right, man, hold up. How much time do you have? Let's talk about that hat. So before he said, let's talk about the hat, I didn't know if he was talking to me or not. I don't know who you are. You just come up behind me, whatever. So I said, oh, yeah, no problem. We talk about the hat. I was cheesing because, his hat means a lot. It's more than just a red hat with white lettering. It's more than just your granddaddy's boat hat. It means a lot to me. That's why I bought it. I bought the real one from the real website, from Trump's campaign website. So we got into talking, and I already knew where it was going to go. But this guy was really nice. We were having a pretty civil conversation. Once again, I got asked, as a black man in America, how can you, and I'm just, well, you haven't asked me if I, agree with his racist remarks and whatnot. And, it's just, I always ask them in return, can you show me any evidence of Trump being racist? They never can. All they do is talk about the wall and what he said early on in his presidency about the wall and who comes over the wall or through the wall or under the wall. And he's not lying. An officer that was just killed by an illegal immigrant who was in prison, who was imprisoned in America. He went to prison in America, got out of prison, didn't get deported back to Mexico, and ended up killing a police officer. That shit really fucks me up because that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen in America. That's not okay with me. I'm currently in the process of becoming a Border Patrol officer, and I've always wanted to be in law enforcement. I've always wanted to be in law enforcement. So when I hear about officers being killed, it just, I don't know. I don't know how people can be okay with what's going on right now with the Dems and their decisions. It just doesn't make sense. Also, with how they were for all of this before Trump was president and now they're against it, doesn't make any sense. Obviously, they're just wanting to hate on Trump. It's fine. Do what you got to do. The wall's going to get built. The border is going to get funded. Yeah, that's it. So you can try to sit back and try to push things out as much as you want. Doesn't matter. It's going to happen. So anyways, back to Aaron. We got to talking. He appreciated how articulate I was, and that I actually had responses for his questions and things that he thought. Now, he was bringing up things that I don't think the president has control over. He was bringing up education. He was bringing up the fact that black people are oppressed, that Trump is insensitive to other people that aren't like him, that don't think like him. And, I kind of asked Aaron, is it because you don't believe in personal responsibility? Which is one of the things that I think Trump really pushes for. People need to be responsible for themselves. As a conservative, I like small government. I would like the states to be ultimately in charge of their own states again. Like I would, not having much federal assistance, only when you really need it. I think states need to take care of their own instead of looking to the federal government for everything. So he was talking about budgets and how, there aren't advantages for blacks in low-income communities and whatnot. And I just said, it really comes back to personal responsibility. You have to want to get out. You have to want to not be a part of that. In the age of social media and the internet, to say that you can't be exposed to different lifestyles of better lives or a better life is stupid to me. Because all you got to do is go on YouTube and type in Sweden or Denmark or whatever, or Malibu or wherever you think it's nice and better where people are. Just type it in, see what happens, see how people act, see what the communities look like, and just strive to want to be like that. That's what I've always wanted to do. I don't want to live in a shitty place. I don't. So I decided that I would make it better for myself. Nobody else is going to help me do it. That's it. My mom did what she could, and that's it. And I made my life better, So I just really disagreed with him on that. And also when it came to schooling, I firmly believe that the schooling system needs to be completely reworked. I don't agree with the fact that you're pushed to go to college. College isn't for everyone. College isn't for most people. I dare I say it. I really think maybe 70% of students probably shouldn't go to college or shouldn't be pushed to go to college. They don't teach technical trades anymore in school, whether it be carpentry, metalworking, welding, being an auto mechanic or boat mechanic or a machinery technician or any of these things, big things, infrastructure things that this country needs to survive. They're not teaching people to do. They're teaching people to sit at desks all day and just do paperwork. And, most of those jobs, there's only about 3 or 4 hours of work anyways. And then the rest of the time you're just fucking off, And I feel like people are not feeling fulfilled in those jobs. They would rather do that than backbreaking jobs. Like, I know that's a lot of people in my age group. I'm only 33. So I know that my age group, there's not a lot of people that want to do hard labor. I get it. It's fine. It's not for everyone. But not everyone can be an office worker. That's not the world. It can't. We can't go on like that. So I feel like the schooling system, and we agreed on that 100%. But where we disagreed was on the fact that he thought that. So we were talking about charter schools, and I know about charter schools. I think charter schools are great. I wish I knew about charter schools when I was a kid, because I would have tried to go, And he brought up, well, not everybody can go to a charter school. And I was like, yeah, I know you have to get put on a list and you get chosen. Yeah, it happens. But you can do it every year, You can continue to try to get on the list, try to get in. Some people are just not going to get in. I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem with, some people just don't get in. Not every single person in the world can have an advantage. I don't believe that. It's just, it's not possible. But you have to want to do better, and he brought up oppression. Well, there's systematic oppression. And I said, the problem that I have with oppression is its definition. By definition, it's suppression of the mind. So that just goes to show that if you are weak-minded, you're going to let things oppress you. It's not really an argument for anything. You can let anything oppress you. I don't think there's systematic oppression. I think there may have, so during the slavery times, I feel like the slave masters, which were black too, they would, the slaves didn't know much. They couldn't speak well. They couldn't read. They weren't allowed to learn. So it's easy to control somebody like that. Like your kids. You can make your kids do all kinds of shit because they don't know any better, right? So that's basically how it is. But I feel that if you decide as a person that you want to be better, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to be better. You keep trying at it over and over and over again. It's like trying to lose weight. If you try it and then you give up, well, guess what? You're going to start gaining weight again. But if you continue to try to lose weight, you will lose weight. That's what happens. If you decide that you don't want to be in the ghetto anymore and you keep trying to not be in the ghetto, you will not be in the ghetto. I'm telling you. You got to stop having kids young. You have to stay in school, get a job. I feel like it's those three things are very easy. And you won't be poor. I strongly believe that. But he didn't think that. So it basically, the reason why he dislikes Trump is because of the fact that he feels Trump is insensitive to people who don't think like him. And I said, well, that's pretty much the reason why I like Trump, is because he doesn't care about your feelings, he cares about facts, and he cares about personal responsibility. So those are all the things that I care about. I care about this country. I care about wanting to do better. I care about smaller government. I feel like jobs need to come back to this country. And yeah, those all align with me. And that's what he's doing. But I appreciate Aaron's view, although I think it's skewed. And ultimately, he had to leave the conversation. I think he was getting a little bit triggered about, what I was saying. Well, that's fine. Can't make everybody happy, and I don't intend to. So, yeah, that's all I got for now. Yeah, peace.